let's have now a quick chat with Gary and Alex, the two minds, the masterminds behind the 132 scale Le Mans 24 hours, because this is not just a slot car race. So what made you decide in 2012 that you wanted to have this race?
Well, I've always been a huge fan of Le Mans. As a fan of motorsport and racing, it's something I've always been fascinated by. And as slot racers, we like to compete. And this venue where we are now in Derby at Rolls-Royce is the home of the Derby HO Racing Club Le Mans 24 Hours. And they do the same thing in analog in HO with a big routed 8-lane track for Tomy AFX cars. And we've done that race probably 7 or 8 times, would you say?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So as soon as we did it, we said, well, we want to do this in 30-second scale. HO is not really our cup of tea. So we thought about the options, and with a big analog event, of course, you can have 16-lane butterfly track like they race on the continent with analog, but it's not really viable to do that with Le Mans. And digital slot cars at that time were a sort of emerging technology. You had Scalextric Digital and Carrera Digital, but they weren't that good at the time. The technology and the protocols they used weren't advanced enough to give us what we wanted. And then we were at the Slot Car Festival at Gaydon.
Yeah.
Correct. So I was racing in an event there, and you weren't racing?
I think I was helping Corn with their tracks.
That's right. We were helping Corn. Literally, as we were walking out the door, we spotted Maurizio with his oXigen demo track, and it was on a really small table, just like a square track. I said, "Oh, this is oXigen. We've heard about this, read about it on the forums." So we gave it a go, and it was pretty clear immediately that oXigen was a very capable system. And the thing that made me feel that way was that the cars behaved like analog cars. You would pull the trigger and the car would go, and you would press the lane change button and the car would change lanes. And my experience with Scalextric Digital at the time was that it had a decent amount of lag in between the input control and what the car actually did. So the fact that the oXigen cars just worked, we thought, oh, this is good. And of course oXigen supports 20 cars, so we thought, okay, we can have a nice big track and have 10, 15, 20 cars racing. And Alex and I sort of discussed it from that point on, really. And in terms of being more than just a slot race, we wanted to make it as realistic as possible, because I like scenic tracks. And yeah, just a fan of Le Mans, I wanted to replicate the entire experience.
Yes, I must say that yours was an act of faith, because we had just shown a, like you said, small system, a small scale. We knew it was capable of handling all of this, but it was obviously still in its, say, early development time. And so we were caught by surprise. And what do they want to do with oXigen? And we said, oh, okay, we'll better get ready for that. And so I really have to thank you for choosing our system. And I must say that this race has been really, really a great tool for us to test and develop the technology that has brought us to this level here, where I think that it's rather stable. Fingers crossed. So from the racer's perspective, what is amazing is the attention to the detail that you've put into the organization, the timetable. And do you think this is the most important aspect of what you're doing?
I think it's important in the sense that, certainly in my experience, and I've not raced slot cars in every part of the globe, but I think it's important to show slot car organisers that it can be done this way, with this rigour and this detail, and how effective it is to be done with this rigour and this detail. And certainly one of the things that frustrates me about slot car racing in general are people's methods for when they write rules or organise meetings, and it's not clear to anybody at any time what is actually going on. And without trying to blow my own trumpet, as we say in the UK, too much, I've got a pretty unique set of skills and experiences when it comes to officiating, shall we say. Because not only have I raced cars, full-size cars, at a club level, I've also done a sport called roller derby and officiated that as a referee. So I know all about writing rules and regulations by the article, Article 1, 1.1, 1.11, and so on. And I know how a race meeting is run from a competitor's point of view, and from an organiser's point of view. And again, I really have to nod towards the Derby HO Racing Club and how they structure their meeting. Because when we started out, we went through their set of rules and based our very first set of rules on their rules, and then tweaked it and developed it for what we wanted and introduced our own ideas. So I think that's why we've ended up with the rule set and the structure and the timetables and the final instructions and stickers and things like that that reflect how an actual race meeting is run. And again, with digital slot car racing, you don't have to run it like a slot car meeting. You don't have to worry about lane rotations or anything like that. The cars are on the track and then they do the session.
Yeah.
So we've structured the whole event around that as if it were a real race meeting, and we organise it as such.
Yeah. What was the biggest obstacle that you had to overcome to organize the race first when you started in 2012?
Well, the main issue initially was venue. It still is the main issue because it's a very large track, and we have a lot of stuff that we require to have in the hall: the PA system, mats for marshalling, staging, and the hall obviously has to fit all of that inside it, but potentially also provide us with some of the equipment we need.
So after the COVID, we were obviously very, very happy, to see that you guys were able to find a new venue and to start the organization again. So I would like to think, as a racer and as a also contributor, as a technical supplier to the race, we'd like to think that this is the first of several future Le Mans races again. So thank you very much for the effort that you are putting into this. And Gary, Alex, now I'll let you go and manage the race. You have probably like 60 or 70 racers that you have to keep in line. So until tomorrow, speak again after the race is finished.
Thank you, Maurizio, because we certainly couldn't have done it without you.
Well, thank you very much, guys.
And that first year,
Oh.
it just wouldn't have happened
Oh.
if you hadn't been there.
Yes, but going backwards, my thought was these two guys are crazy, so we have to be crazy as well.
Well, we are.
Yes,
not an
we all are probably. So, thank you, guys.
Yeah. Okay.